So let's review very quickly these 4 views on what depravity means to the human being. The first view is known as Pelagianism. It's a big word. It's just simply a guy's name, Pelagius. He was a 4th century heretic. And what his view of depravity was is that human beings are born innocent and that they can cooperate with God. And this we know is a heresy. We've already gone through the first 5 books of the Bible. We see that we bear Adam's image. Even though we bear God's image, we bear Adam's fallen image. The second view is known as Arminianism. It's named after a guy named Jacob Arminius. And it says that human beings are somewhat depraved. In other words, there's good in human beings and there's bad in human beings. And that human beings can cooperate with God. This view is called semi-Pelagianism because it's got some heresy mixed in with some right thinking. The third view is known as moderate Calvinism. If you know who John Calvin is, he's the great theologian of years past. And this view I would rather call biblical depravity because moderate Calvinism or biblical depravity clearly describes the state of man. It says that humans are totally depraved, meaning that our image of God is marred. It has an error in it, or think of a pane of glass that's got scratches on it. But it is not completely effaced or completely erased. And this view teaches that man can cooperate with God. In other words, in the Bible, John 3:16, for example, says that if you believe, Jesus' own words. Paul says if you believe or if you call on the name of the Lord. We are given choices throughout the Bible. And those choices stem from the inside man. In other words, we are cooperating with God in making these choices. The fourth view is known as strong Calvinism. It says that humans are totally depraved, just like moderate Calvinism or biblical depravity, but it says that the image of God in man is significantly marred or even totally erased, depending on who is speaking it. It says that humans cannot cooperate with God. And this in and of itself has to dismiss all of those verses that I mentioned where it says you must believe or that you must call on the name of the Lord, something coming as a volitional act from the will of man. And the problem with strong Calvinism is that it ultimately assigns evil to God because we are given a choice to accept Jesus Christ or we're not. If we're not given that choice to accept Jesus Christ, then you logically follow that back. Keep going back, and eventually we have the fall of man. And man was created supposedly in a perfectly good condition. Well, if he fell and he didn't choose to fall, then you are ascribing evil to God, saying that God created him that way. It is not a well thought out process, but it is a view that many people hold. A lot of Presbyterians, one person I read every single morning of my life, R.C. Sproul, holds this particular view, but it is not correct biblically.